Namaste everybody. I am Mohan Prasad Gautam, permanently from Matsapuste Rural Municipality 6, Ital, Kaski, Nepal. Right? Very first, I'd like to welcome you all, my dear student, here in this virtual class under the part of the distant education. Right? Well, today I'm going to teach you conditional sentences. Right? Today I'm going to teach you what? Conditional sentences through a poem. Right? I will be using a poem created by myself to teach you the entire rules of conditional sentences. Right? This video is basically helpful for every English learner. Right? Okay, my student. So let me present such beautiful poem to teach conditional uh, sentences. Right? So when you talk about conditional sentences, actually we find using of if clause and main clause, right? Okay, look at here. Very first the conditional poem first stanza. Okay, they are having four lines. Okay, look at here, four lines. Okay, so look at the first line. Okay, in the first stanza, conditional zero. Okay, let me recite it. Conditional zero, I never tell lie. Conditional zero, I never tell lie. Present simple in both, don't be shy. Conditional rules are not hard if and main clauses are its parts. Got it? Okay, now what does this stanza tell us? Okay, now let me explain it. Here, conditional zero. Okay, now we are talking about conditional sentences type 0. All right. So this conditional type sentence 0, is speaking itself, right? Is telling what? I never tell lie. Okay. Conditional type 0 tells never lie. It always tells the truth, right? Conditional type 0 always tells the truth. Okay. It never tells lie. Okay. Present simple in both, don't be shy. What does it mean? Very interesting. Present simple in both means here both clauses, if clauses and main clauses. In both clauses, we find using simple present tense. Okay, and conditional rules are not hard. Okay, it's very simple, but it's very easy if you follow this poem. Okay, to learn conditional sentences. Okay, conditional rules are not hard if and main clauses are its parts. It means what? As I told you already, it has two clauses, if clauses and main clauses, right? Always if clauses gives a condition, to fulfill the action to be happened or to be performed. Got it? Well, now let's check whether you understood the rules of conditional type 0 or not. Okay, look at number one question given to you here. Okay, if water boils, it into steam. Changes will change. What is the right answer according to the first stanza? Okay, conditional zero, I never tell lie means it always tell truth. Okay, here if water boils it into steam. Okay, it is what? It is always true. Science always says this one. This is the fact. Okay, that is always same, right? So that always it tells the truth. Okay, and present simple in both, don't be shy means here if clause, and then you can see before this comma if clause, and after this comma what? This is main clause. Okay, we can find both. Okay, and even we will have here what? Present simple both. Here we'll see present simple if water boils, this is present simple boils. Okay, verb 5. Okay, simple present. And here as well you must have what? Simple present. So then what is simple present? Obviously changes. Okay, changes. So this is the answer. So let me tick on correct answer first. Okay, then hopefully you are also going to write it down in your copy. Okay, changes. Okay, if water boils it changes into steam, right, according to the rules given in first stanza, right, under conditional type 0. Got it? Well, now look at number 2. Okay, If you put ice, if you put ice in the sun, just before this comma, this is if clause, and after this comma, it dot 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 melt it, melts, will melt. Okay, this is what the main clause. Now you have to choose or pick up the correct word from this bracket, right? So according to the stanza first, okay, under the rules of conditional sentences, conditional type 0, right? Now you have to choose the right word. If you put ice, if you put, okay, this is a simple present, okay, put verb 1. If you put ice in the sun, it da da da, then both, okay, here is given what, both. Present simple in both means both part. Okay, present, sorry, then condition, main clause and then if clause, both there will there will be what, let's say present simple. So obviously what is the present simple here? Melted, melts, will melt. Obviously melts is present simple. So if you put ice in the sun, it melts. Okay, it always tells what, truth. It is scientific fact, universal truth. Got it? Okay, my dear student, now let's jump to number 3 under the same conditional type 0 from this stanza number first. If you heat iron, okay, before this comma, this is what, if clause, okay, area of if, and after this comma, this is the main part, main clause. If you heat iron, okay, if you heat iron, if you heat, okay, so this is verb 1, if you heat, simple present, if you heat iron, it da da da, expanded, expand, would expand. According to the rules given here, present simple in both, and even it tell what, it never tells lie. It is what, universal truth. Okay, scientific fact. So that if you heat iron, it expands. Okay, here is also present simple form. Let me put tick mark here on correct answer, expands. Got it? Well, now let's look at number 4 under the same category. Okay, look at here. Okay, now let me read it out very fast. Plants die if you water them. Don't want din. What is the right answer? We have to supply here in the blank. Plants die. Okay, this is verb 1. Okay, present simple form. Plants die if you, then if you don't water them, won't water them, and didn't water. What's the right answer? Obviously, we need what? Present simple in both. Here also present simple. Okay, plants die. Okay, this is main clause. Plants die. This is main clause, present simple, and if clause also there must be what? Present simple. So that if you don't water, if you don't water them, right? Well, my dear student, now let's move to the next. Okay, here note, right? Type 0, right? We have to make here a shortcut note under this conditional type 0. Got it? Yes. Now look at note type 0. Now let's have a look at this table. If clause, we have seen if clause and we have seen main clause, right? And according to the stanza number 1 first, okay, under the conditional type 0, if clause we can find verb 1 or verb 5, it means simple present, and main clause we can also find what, verb 1 or verb 5, it means present simple form. Both clauses there can be found present simple form under conditional type 0, and this conditional type 0 never tells lie, or it means it always tells the truth, scientific thing. Okay, universal truth. Got it? Okay, my dear student, now after knowing this conditional type 0, now let's move to another stanza of the poem, okay, which is basically under conditional type 1. Got it? Very first. Now let me recite it. Conditional 1. Conditional 1, if you wanna learn, yes, once again. Conditional 1, if you wanna learn, come and stay and have a fun. Yes, once again. Conditional 1, if you wanna learn, come and stay and have a fun. Possible, possible, I always tell, right? Possible, possible, I always tell. If you don't read, you will fail. What an interesting verse, okay? So, possible, possible, I always tell, right? If you don't read, you will fail. with example of the conditional type 1 given here. Now let me explain from the beginning of this one. Conditional 1. Conditional 1, if you wanna learn. Yeah, wanna refers to want to. Okay, this is the colloquial form. Okay, spoken language, right? Conditional 1, if you want to learn. Okay, come and stay and have a fun. If you want to learn conditional type 1, okay, please come here and stay with me and have a fun. It means, right? Then it always tells what? Conditional type 1 tells what? It tells possible, always possible thing. It talks about the possible thing. It talks about the it talks about the real things. Okay, I always tell, if you don't read, you will fail. Isn't it that possible thing? Of course, if you don't read, okay, you will fail. This is possible thing. If you read well, you will pass the exam. Yes, if you don't read, you will fail the exam, right? So that it always talks about the possible thing, right? So that here you have to remember. Okay, so possible, I always tell, if you don't read, okay, if you don't read, you will fail. Okay, from this example you have to learn. Yes, if clause, before this comma, this part is called what? If clause. And after this comma, before this full stop, this part is what? This part is called main clause. Yes, you can see it's a structure. Yes, simple present in if clause and a simple future in let's say main clause, right? So keep this one in your mind, and we will be doing some exercise on the basis of this stanza of conditional type first or one. Got it? Okay, look at here. Number one, if you, okay, if you to pass the test, work hard. Okay, so this is a little bit different than this stanza. Okay, I have to explain you here. If you to pass the test, work hard. So here is, okay, let's say if you, so this is if clause, before this comes is if clause. Okay, if you to pass the test, work hard. This is imperative sentence, right? If clause, there is simple present, right? If clause, there is what? Simple present. So to make simple present, what do we need? Want it, want, and will. What do we need? Obviously, to make it simple present, we need to have want. Okay, so even you have seen such, okay, structure here, even stanza as well under conditional type 1. Yes, if you want to pass the test, work hard. Here is imperative. Okay, so sometime we can find such stocks as well. Okay, in conditional type 1. Okay, number 2. Okay, number 2, he dance if we request him. Okay, now look at here, if clause, if we request him, this if clause, and main clause, he dance. So here is what you can see. If clause, there is a verb 1 or simple present tense, and here you see simple future tense. Here, if here is, okay, simple present tense, okay, in if clause, then obviously in main clause we can see here what simple future tense. So that obviously he will dance if we request him. Okay, to make it here simple future. Okay, let me put here tick mark on correct answer. Got it? Well, now let's look at number 3. Okay, if you need any help, okay, this is if clause, meet tomorrow, meet. Okay, if you need any help. Now, as we have done in number 1, here also, if you need any help, meet me tomorrow. Okay, this is imperative form with conditional type 1. Okay, now let's look at number 4. Okay, number 4, she will attend the party if I her. Well, now its answer is what? Main clause. What do we see here in main clause? Look at here, she will attend the party. This is main clause, right? So will plus verb 1, right? This is found in main clause. Then what do we find here in, let's say, if clause, according to the stanza given here under conditional type 1? Yes, look at here. um, Look at here, if clause, obviously here is what? Simple present tense, and main clause simple future. So simple future, right? So main clause simple future, and if clause simple present. So obviously If clause here must be what? Simple present. So what is simple present? Invited, invite, inviting. Obviously invite is simple present tense. Verb 1 we need. Okay. If I invite her. Okay. One time please read here. She will attend the party if I invite her. Right. Okay, my dear student. Now look at the next one. Okay, note. Yeah, you have to keep a note. Okay, in your copy. Type 1. We have learned from this stanza what? Type 1. Conditional type 1. Look at here. Yes. Now look at this table. If clause, verb 1 or verb 5 we see. If clause, verb 1 or verb 5. Right? And main clause, what do we find? Okay. There is will plus verb 1 in main clause, right? Here will plus verb 1, this is found in if sorry, main clause. Okay, and here is if clause. What do we find? Okay, need verb 1. Okay, simple present. And here is what? Here is okay, we find meet me tomorrow, this imperative form. Okay, here is okay, if clause. Okay, if we request him, simple present in simple present tense is found where? In if clause. And main clause, he will dance, that is found in main clause. Then here if you want to fast, if clause simple present. And main clause is what? Also simple present, this imperative form. Okay, now keep this in your mind. Well, now look at the next one. Okay, conditional sentences. Okay, through a poem here as well we have to see. Now look at this stanza very fast. Okay, let me recite it very fast. Unreal, unreal, I always say. Unreal, unreal, I always say. If I had time, I would visit Bay. Right? Conditional type 3, imagine free. If clause had 3, men would have 3. Yeah? Okay, once again. Unreal, unreal, I always say. If I had time, I would visit Bay. Conditional type 3, imagine free. Conditional type 3, imagine free. If clause had 3, men would have 3. Here, would have 3 means what? Here, would have plus verb 3. If clause had 3 means if clause had plus verb 3. Okay, now let me explain. Okay, from the beginning. Okay, unreal, unreal, I always say. Here, conditional type 2 says unreal thing, likely to be not happen. Okay, likely to be not performing. Okay, actually, it is unreal, just hypothetical. Okay, if I had time. Okay, now this is the example. This is an example of conditional type 2. If I had time, I would visit Bay. This is also imagination, right? This is also what? An imagination, right? This is unreal, right? If I had time, okay, then I would visit Bay. Had, if I had time, this is verb 2, the simple past form, and would plus verb 1, right? So that structure is found in conditional type 2. And now this one is conditional type 3. Conditional type 3, imagine free. Here you are very free to imagine the situation, right? Almost the, okay, speaker imagine. Okay, you are free to imagine. Okay, conditional type 3, imagine free. You are free to imagine, right? If clause. Okay, if clause. In if clause there can be found what? Had plus verb 3, right? If clause there can be found what? Had plus verb 3. Now number 5. Okay, look at here. He would have danced if we him. Okay, so now look at the, okay, that, okay, sentence. He would have danced. Would have plus verb 3. Okay, in main clause. Okay, okay, main clause would have plus verb 3. Would have plus 3. Okay, which means what? Would have plus verb 3, right? In main clause. Then if clause what? He had plus verb 3. So here he would have danced if we. Then if we, let's look at here. If we he had requested. Okay, he had. Okay, he had plus verb 3. He had requested is the answer. Okay, so he had. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, he had requested. Let me bring a pen from here to tick on the correct answer, right? So he had Yes, he had requested. Okay, it's a single word. Okay, don't be confused. Had requested. Had plus verb three. Got it. Okay, my dear student. Now, okay, look at here. Okay, you have to make a note here also as well. What we have learned from above stanza here. Type two, if clause in. Okay, if clause in simple past tense and main clause in conditional. Okay, would, could, should, might plus verb one. And in type 3, what did you find? In if clause we could see had plus verb 3, and main clause we could find what? Would, could, should, might plus might have plus verb 3. Might plus have plus verb 3. Conditional perfect, okay, is found in type 3, right? And type 2, okay, that simple past and conditional. Here type 3, had plus verb 3, okay, past perfect and conditional perfect. Here would, could, should, might have plus verb 3. Okay, so this is the just okay, we can find note from last stanza. Well, today just I only taught you, okay, the entire rules of conditional sentences. Almost 95% of the rule of conditional sentences I had I had told you today through this beautiful poem, right? Well, remaining 5% rule, okay, then I will be teaching you while solving or while writing the answer from your exercise of your grammar book, right? Well, my dear student, now this much for today. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye bye. Have a wonderful time ahead.